The Wealth of Nations, An Economic History of the World, writing by Dr. Helena Voss, prepared by Hamid Al-Kayai. Introduction. The Tapestry of Global Prosperity. Dr. Helena Voss crafts a sweeping narrative of humanity's economic evolution, arguing that the pursuit of wealth has driven innovation, conflict, and societal transformation. From ancient barter systems to digital currencies, she examines how economic systems have shaped, and been shaped by, cultural, political, and environmental forces, challenging myths of linear progress and highlighting enduring inequalities. Chapter 1, Ancient Foundations, Prehistory 500 BCE, Agricultural Revolution, Neolithic shift from nomadic to agrarian life, 10,000 BCE, enabled surplus production, leading to trade and social stratification. Early trade networks, Mesopotamia, grain for textile exchanges facilitated by cuneiform contracts. Indus Valley, standardized weights and maritime trade with Mesopotamia. Currency origins, cowrie shells in China, 1200 BCE, barley in Sumer, and the Lydian Stata, 600 BCE. The first minted coins. Chapter 2, Classical Empires and Economic Power, 500 BCE 500 CE, Roman Economics, Pax Romana, 27 BCE 180 CE, Integrated Markets via roads and coinage, reliance on slave labor and grain imports from Egypt. Han Dynasty, Silk Road expansion, 130 BCE, linked China to Rome, spreading goods and ideas like papermaking. Indian Ocean trade, spice routes connecting India, Arabia, and East Africa. The Tamil Chola dynasty's maritime dominance, 3rd century CE. Chapter 3, Medieval Systems and Global Connections, 500–1500 CE, Feudalism and Manorialism, European serfdom versus the Islamic Waqf system, which funded public goods through religious endowments. Silk Road zenith, Mongol Empire, 1206–1368, secured trade routes, enabling Marco Polo's travels and the Black Death's spread. African gold kingdoms, Mali's Mansa Musa, 1280–1337, destabilized Mediterranean economies with his legendary Hajj gold influx. Chapter 4, Mercantilism and Colonial Exploitation, 1500–1800 CE, Columbian Exchange, silver from Potosi, Bolivia, funded Spanish empires but caused inflation. Sugar plantations fueled the transatlantic slave trade. Joint stock companies, Dutch East India Company, 1602, and British East India Company monopolized spice and opium trade, embedding corporate power. Adam Smith's Critique, The Wealth of Nations, 1776, challenged mercantilism, advocating free markets and division of labor. Chapter 5, Industrial Revolution and Capitalism's Rise, 1760–1914, Technological Leaps, James Watt's steam engine, 1776, and Britain's textile boom, fossil fuels replaced human/animal labor. Labor exploitation, child labor in factories versus the rise of unions, for example, the 1886 Haymarket Affair in Chicago. Global inequality, colonization drained resources from India, deindustrialization, and Congo, rubber extraction under Leopold II. Chapter 6, Wars, Depressions, and New Orders, 1914–1945, World War I, reparations and hyperinflation in Weimar Germany, 1923, the Great Depression, 1929, spurred Keynesian demand-side economics. New Deals and Five-Year Plans, FDR's public works versus Stalin's forced industrialization, which prioritized heavy industry over consumer goods. Bretton Woods, 1944 established IMF and World Bank, anchoring global finance to the US dollar. Chapter 7, Globalization and its Discontents, 1945-2000, Post-Colonial Economies, Ganesh and Nkrumah, 1909-1972, and India's Nehru, 1889-1964, pursued mixed economies, balancing socialism and markets. Neoliberal turn, Reaganomics and Thatcherism, 1980s, deregulated markets, Chile's Chicago Boys imposed shock therapy under Pinochet. Asian tigers, South Korea and Singapore's export-led growth, 1960s-1990s, contrasted with IMF austerity in Latin America. Chapter 8, 21st Century Challenges, 2000 Present, Digital Revolution, Silicon Valley's gig economy versus China's state capitalist model, for example, Alibaba, Huawei. 2008 Financial Crisis, subprime mortgages and Lehman Brothers collapse exposed systemic risks, Occupy Wall Street protested wealth inequality. Climate economics, carbon pricing debates, Greta Thunberg's critique of GDP-driven growth. Key themes 1. Inequalities roots, from feudal serfdom to modern tax havens, wealth concentration persists. 2. Innovation versus exploitation, industrial and digital advances often rely on underpaid labor, for example, cobalt mining in Congo. 3. Global interdependence, pandemics and climate change demand cooperative solutions but face nationalist backlash. Conclusion, Reimagining Prosperity. Voss argues that economic history is cyclical, not linear, with progress often masking regression. She advocates for a well-being economy prioritizing sustainability and equity over GDP, citing Nordic social democracies and Bhutan's Gross National Happiness Index. However, she warns that overcoming legacy systems, colonial debt, corporate lobbying, and fossil fuel dependencies, requires unprecedented global solidarity. Notable figures: Ibn Khaldun, 1332-1406 analyzed cyclical rise/fall of empires in Muqaddimah. Karl Marx, 1818-1883 critiqued capitalist alienation, influenced labor movements. Elon Musk, B. 1971 embodies tech-driven capitalism's promises and perils. Legacy, from the Dutch tulip mania, 1637, to Bitcoin, speculative bubbles reveal enduring human psychology. The 2008 crisis and COVID-19 underscore the fragility of interconnected systems. Author's perspective: Voss blends economic theory with social justice, urging readers to confront capitalism's paradoxes. The book is both a chronicle of humanity's material triumphs and a manifesto for ethical recalibration. Final quote: "The wealth of nations lies not in their gold reserves, but in their capacity to nurture human dignity and planetary health."